I'm Stan. This is Riot City. This is What the Fuzz Podcast. Alrighty then. First things first. How do you feel that you are finally, after many attempts, you arrived in our lovely country?
We recorded the moment we crossed the border into Poland. And we got a picture and we celebrated because we have been waiting exactly as long as everybody else has been waiting. We've wanted to come here. We knew when we were planning the first tour that these shows were, they were being responded to very well. And so obviously those are the kinds of shows we want to play. And now especially we know that, people are hungry for it. It was super disappointing for us to have to, disappoint people. There's people traveling by train to come to the shows. And to cancel at the last minute was horrible. It was the worst.
Yeah, we scheduled to do this interview back when the first show was announced.
Nice. Yeah, no, we are absolutely pumped. And last night was mental. It was such a fun gig. And I think tonight might perhaps be even crazier. We'll have to see, though.
All right. So going with the theme of things being postponed and closed and everything, how did you, as a band, get your asses kicked by the pandemic?
Here, you want to do that one?
I mean, initially, we were 10 minutes away from Poland, and we're turned around, and then people were fucking bitching at us. They're like, what are you doing? You got to come. And, there was articles that we got obtained in Poland and quarantined in Poland. And then we got to go fly to France. And now we're in Paris for a week, which sucks. And, just stuck with spending all of our money and then fly home. And then everything's shut down. And, initially, then we kind of stopped being a band for a bit because you can't do anything. And then, a few months later, we started working on the new album. So we used, bad with the good. We spent the time to do the new album, and which is done now and should be out within the next 6 months, depending on pressing, because it's kind of slow right now. But yeah, it was, there was a lot of bad, but there was a lot of good that came out of it, so we can't complain too much.
So there's good with a bad.
Yeah.
We'll go, for the new album, we'll go there, but there's a certain thing that happened. The first album got great reception. It got great reviews. Everybody fucking went ballistic about it. Like, holy shit. The new coming of Judas Priest and shit like that. But there's a change. There's a change. Everybody loved the vocals on the first one. And then you got a new vocalist. Why? And how? And
okay.
Go into this, because some people still are wondering, why do you change something which is already working? And a vocalist in a heavy metal band is always a problematic thing, because that's the major... the major force when people split their fan base, when you change vocalists. When Blaze came in, people went fuck off. When Omen didn't have J.D. Kimball, everybody went fuck off. So why change the vocalist?
Well, I can field this one if you want. So I
don't know why you did it.
I sang on the first album, and he sings on the next one. And I'm a guitarist that learned how to sing specifically because we needed a singer. I'm not a singer. I'm not trained to do it. I had a good voice, and I still do, but I was inconsistent with it. Some shows would be really good, some wouldn't be, because I didn't know how to take care of it properly, right? I've blown my voice out before, and then I have no highs, so I have to do shows all in lows. And then I'm trying to play guitar to And, you know, I knew Jordan was a fantastic vocalist, and I asked him at the very beginning of the band to come in and sing. But he was working out of town and couldn't do it. And, you know, when the album was finished, he messaged me and was like, oh, man, this album's super good. You know, and I took that as an opportunity. I was like, well, why don't you come and sing it? He's like, oh, really? So we brought him in, tried him out. And then I think within a few months, you had plane tickets to London booked for you. And, yeah, you know, so, like, it was just, it's very taxing on a guitarist that isn't a professional singer to keep trying to do it. And our voices are quite similar, which is nice. Like, you know, especially live. Like, live, you know, a lot of people don't even know that it's a different vocalist, right? If they don't know and they haven't heard, they just think it's the same guy. But that's kind of it. And I hope people are, you know, happy with it. And I'm sure they will be, because he's a fantastic vocalist. It's just, it's the old Halloween. You know, we just did an album and then we switched it out. And, you know, everyone loves Keeper.
Well, yeah. Let's put it this way. I'm in the section of people that likes Keeper, but nothing compares to Walls of Jericho.
Sure. Yeah.
Nothing does, because that's more metal.
Yes, it is.
Coming back to the vocals on the first album, I agree in the sense that, take a look at Dave Mustaine. He never learned to sing, and he can't sing even now. After all of those, after all of those days, he's a fantastic guitarist, fantastic composer. As a singer, no.
Yeah.
But then Jordan, let me ask you, how hard is it to do justice to the songs from the first album live? Like, to do them the way that people like them. So to do them the way that they were done on the album.
Not nearly as fucking hard as it is to sing the songs on the second album.
All right. All right. So the second, the ones on the second one are harder vocally. I mean, because you know, because we can separate vocals from guitar. You know, we're able to do, you know, more guitar-wise. First of all, you know, he's able to play things that are really difficult to play or nearly impossible to play when you're trying to sing at the same time. And you know, I'm able to just kind of just be a front man and focus on that, and do a lot more different things with my voice. It's when it comes to, like, performing the songs live, I think I pretty well, you know, had a knack for it from the get-go. And the biggest thing for me is, the hardest challenge for me is to just stay disciplined and look after it. But for me to go out and sing the songs and approach them, you know, like Cale said, him and I actually have pretty similar voice. And I think that, I mean, it'll be abundantly apparent tonight. We'll see.
Yeah, we will.
But
yeah, you have to remember too that we can both sing.
Oh,
so
yeah,
we, you know, now we start to use our voices together.
So it's a Manila Road kind of thing.
Yeah,
when
you know, like
Kelrody and Mark, they can both sing it.
Yeah, so we're starting to do high falsetto harmonies with each other and stuff, right? So it's pretty cool.
All right. So now, how bored are you of getting asked about the cover of the album and Judas Priest?
Okay, so I'm not bored at all. I mean, okay, so that cover, we didn't make it for ourselves. We bought it off a dude that did cool artwork for really cheap. And we knew, we're like, oh, we're going to get flack for this. But I think as in a business aspect, it gets people talking. Yes. So people know, and people click on it because it looks like Judas Priest. And then we kind of sound like Judas Priest too. So, you know, all in all, I think it was a good idea. And now we just do laser animals. That's our thing now. So, I mean, it worked out good, but it's still pretty funny. It is. You know what I mean? It's like,
it actually is. Everybody that sees it for the first time, they are like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Screaming for vengeance and defenders of the faith in one fucking thing.
Exactly.
And like lasers, so it's like electric eye, you motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we got a Hunter t-shirt inside that is, you know, the eagle with the lasers, and yeah, it's pretty funny. But
We like lasers.
and we like Judas Priest a lot. So I mean, you know,
That is abundant
Yeah.
in your sound.
yes, it is, and I think it worked out good, and it's funny too, right?
It is.
You know, we're not like, look at us ripping off Judas Priest. It's like we think it's funny, and it's a great album cover. You know, yeah, it's a steel eagle, but fuck it, it's our steel eagle. Ours is different.
Right, so let's just staying with the first one. Still, we know Judas Priest is in there, like in the sound. But what are the components that you would say that you have from other bands, other influences? Like, because I hear a lot of speed metal, and I hear a lot of American power metal, and I hear not so much new wave or British heavy, not so much, no, but lots of harder stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, I really like U.S. power metal, like more than the new wave of British heavy metal. That's more for me, as I think you can tell by the way we write songs. But you know, like Halloween is a big one. I think it's very Halloween-y, how it's kind of like just a lot of harmonies and kind of all over the place. And
I even hear some Exciter there.
yeah, and then the speed metal, Exciter and Razor, right? Canadian speed metal is like pretty abundant, and we really like those kind of guys. And you know, and still like even lots of Iron Maiden in there. You know, like the after the third album on, like, because we all love that shit too. It's kind of just taken from everything. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say it's like a pretty even melding of, you know, just every influence. Like even like there's even like a touch of Whitesnake on the new record. Like, it's
Holy shit!
Like it's just got like, you know, like, yeah, good Whitesnake.
The point is, what's the good Whitesnake then? Because people will give you different answers.
Jordan really likes Whitesnake.
Oh yeah,
It's
fuck,
not
I
like
love
how
Whitesnake.
you think.
No, it's not like it's not like
Baby.
But it's just, you know, when we were doing things in the studio, it was kind of like, that's kind of
In the
Whitesnake.
still of the night.
Well,
Just joking.
yeah, less, you know, a little less. It's a little less cheesy, I suppose, but
Oh yeah, way less. There's no
it's more. I guess it's more or less. A lot of it is just like in, you know, certain bits of vocals.
Oh, yeah.
You know, certain things that are happening. It's not like an entire song or whatever. It's just like a bit or a piece over here, and I mean that's my influence. You know,
Gotcha.
like I'm a idiot.
Great.
I'm
Awesome. Oh well. That's life.
Like my influences are, you know, I'm an Eric Adams guy.
Everybody loves some Manowar.
Yeah, even the people that take the piss out of it. Obviously,
Listen, good
you know,
songs
like,
are good songs. You can't
doesn't
fuck with
matter.
Manowar
Yeah.
if you the first 4 Manowar records, you can't fuck with them.
Yeah.
There's 5 even.
and like I'm an Andy Darris guy too.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
That's kind of that's rare.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I'm a Halloween guy overall, but and it took a long time for me to figure out how to enjoy the Darris vocals. But at the end of the day, I think that that those records are the best.
I always say to vocalists, be a J.D. Kimball guy. Be a Omen guy. Yeah, I'm joking. But, okie dokie. So, when you come into the record that's supposed to be out, do you have any songs that are left over, or maybe from before the first record that are going to be, I think there are some, that are going to be on the second one?
No.
Yeah, well, in a sense, there's some stuff that was being worked on for the first record that would never really materialized into a complete song. But I mean, this band's not really interested in using leftovers.
So mainly completely new tunes on the new one.
Okay, yeah. Okay, they're all new. Some were being worked on before, but we took a song name from the demo and used it. The song isn't on there, but we like the name of the song. And we thought it'd be good.
Electric Elite.
Yeah. And like I think it perfectly represents what we're trying to do, you know? Like, we're not saying we're elite over everybody, but you know, like we're an electric band and we fucking go hard, and every night we give it our all. And
yeah, what would be comparing to the first one, and in general to the new wave of traditional metal has risen up, and you've been away from a couple of years, so there have been bands that formed and released a record when you've been away.
Yeah.
How would you compare it? Is it harder? Is it faster? Is it more melodic?
It's
what's the direction?
It's like it's a good mixture of everything, right? Like, you know,
the traditional diplomatic answer.
Yeah. It's yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, like we kept a lot of the speed metal, right? There's a lot of that, but we also went, you know, we're writing songs for us and what we think is good, and you know, obviously for everyone else, and we hope you like it. But you know, like there's one song I always really wanted to write a long song, right? We got a 10-minute song to close the album, but it's like all the best parts of Iron Maiden and Judas Priest kind of mixed into one big long song. Maybe. But you know,
it better be good, because it's easy to fuck up an epic. It's very easy.
It is,
make
and
it
you know,
boring.
like maybe I'm
look at Iron Maiden.
Yeah, maybe
look
I'm
at the
biased,
last album. They made it boring.
Yeah. I mean, this is an epic made by Riot City. It's a Riot City song, and you can tell. But we made it longer, and then we have. You know, we have fast songs on it, and we have, you know, a slower song that, you know, Stu said, our tour manager there, he's like, oh, it's the best Manowar song in 20 years. You know, it's a slower headbanger.
Don't go there. That's not a high bar. That's not a high bar.
I know, but
to jump over.
You know, it's just like that kind of stuff, right? Like Triumphant, slower, and then speed metal songs, and then longer epic songs. So we kind of just went all over the place with it.
The album opener is a fucking vicious one.
Yeah, I think it's the fastest song we have, probably. And you know, that's an older riffs that we had for the first album that never kind of made it, and we really liked it, and we wanted to rework it, and we finally did, and it ends up being fucking sick. It's awesome.
So what's your generally, when we're already there, what's your take on the health of the metal scene? Well, the big ones are going away. We know that. We know that the big guys are going to close shop fairly sooner than later.
Absolutely.
But what's your take on the whole new wave of traditional metal?
I mean,
and thrash is on, and metal punk is very healthy. The legends are still going, the most smaller legends. So what's your take on the whole heartbeat of metal?
I mean, you know, we're a band from Canada that, you know, it surprises us that we can come to, you know, 9 countries and pack shows every single night, right? You know, like this tour has been quite successful, and it's a little bit different because people, you know, kind of shy away from going to shows again, and some people are really into it and some people don't want to go, and you know, a lot of people are financially struggling now because of the pandemic, and you know, but still every night we pack shows. So I mean, that says something about it. You know, they might not be 10,000 people, but a few hundred people every night or whatever is, you know, quite impressive, I think. And we're just a bunch of dudes from Canada. We got on a plane and fucking here we are in Poland. Finally. Last show of the tour.
But so, taking it more general, like if you had to look at it like from a fan's perspective, is it going well, or are we spinning in circles, and when the good big guys die off, we're going to have a die-off of certain people that are going to turn away from metal? Or are we going to stay healthy and underground? Or something completely different?
The underground is thriving, I would say. It is still really good, and there's tons of bands. But what needs to happen, I think, for the big circuit is that these bigger bands need to take smaller bands with them. That's what they need to do. No more taking your kids' bands. Take good underground bands and let them become bigger, so that when you are done, there is people to continue.
So that's like the Ozzy and Metallica shit that they did.
Yeah, you know,
that
or like,
kind of stuff.
Or like
Maiden stuff.
You know, if Maiden were to take a band like us, or you know, bigger bands like Enforcer or something, like they would be huge for the metal scene in general, and huge, like that's life-changing for whoever they take, right? And that's how you'll keep the big circuit alive, because, you know, like you said, a couple hundred people every night, yeah, that's great, but you know, you're still not getting the reach that a stadium full of people would give you.
I think the the only thing that's holding it back is that, yeah, there's a lot of kick-ass bands, a lot of kick-ass new bands. They just need to be heard. And metal, unfortunately, has like a tendency for the gatekeepers to thrive, and they're hell-bent on the concept that metal's been dead for however long, and all these old bands, they're the only good shit left.
So basically the problem is elitism. Like
absolutely. Because I know, like in the case of like us or like fucking Seven Sisters, like they just need to be heard. And like if you're into metal, like if you're an Iron Maiden guy or a Judas Priest guy and you haven't heard,
get into Seven Sisters.
Yeah,
no problem.
Yes, yeah. Like I think that's the biggest thing. We played that first show in Austria, and it was almost like nobody that showed up for the show knew who either of the bands were. And I mean, it's sure that makes it more difficult to perform because the people don't know the songs and they're not, but they're listening and they're becoming new fans. And so it's like kind of it's a double-edged sword in that regard. And, that's why it's so important, like what Gail said, we need to be able to get on these these real tours like Unto Others, touring with King Diamond. These are the things that need to happen to the likes of Riot City.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
These bands just need to be heard because there's a lot of fucking awesome ones.
Okay. I'll take you on. One band that you would recommend to people that they check out, apart from yourself and Seven Sisters.
I love Traveler.
Yeah. That's good. We had Traveler reviewed on our channel, so we fucking love them. At least the first record. Yeah. Okay, Traveler. Yeah, and Traveler, you? Traveler is out. Traveler's
out. Yeah. That's fine. There's tons of good shit, but especially back home, we have bands like Cadaver Dog that are our buddies that are really awesome, Blackened, Speed, and they get.
I would like that.
They get nothing. You know what I mean? And they're fucking great. And the singer does all the artwork for Traveler, and did our artwork for our tour. They're
called Cadaver Dog.
Cadaver Dog, yeah. Okay. They've been around for a while, but they haven't been recording and stuff. But they just finished an album. I've heard it. It's awesome. You know what I mean? So hopefully stuff like that can kind of come out now, and they can get some love. You know what I mean? They're great. But yeah, check that band out for sure.
Okie dokie. Yeah, we got absolutely. 2 recommendations. All right. I think we're good. So closing words belong to you. Tell us who's going to release the new album, promote it, say whatever you want. The floor is yours.
The new album is being released on No Remorse. Thank you, Chris, and everybody else that works there. Look out for it in September, October-ish. And we can't wait to come back. And Poland has been a blast so far, and we're very happy we finally made it here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to everybody that's come out and seen us on this tour. It's been a fucking ride, and yeah, tonight we'll put all your doubts to rest, and that'll be the end of that. Yeah.
And with that nice sentence that was very metal, we were What the Fuzz Podcast. That was Riot City. See ya.